Hello muteland friends. I'm Ronnie, and today in this video we will review the interesting facts in the world of hosting. If you are always curious about the principles and information behind the scenes of your site, join us for the best. Let's discover the tips and tricks. Don't forget to subscribe to the muteland channel so you don't miss anything. Let's get to the details. Number 1. Did you know that this is the last picture of the siblings who got lost in the Liverpool train station and were kidnapped by an unknown person? The 10-year-old and 2-year-old siblings left by their parents leave the Liverpool station and go to the surrounding streets, where they are kidnapped by an unknown person. They are kidnapped. After kidnapping, an unknown person knocks them unconscious and takes them to an old shed. Then he breaks the neck of the 2-year-old girl and blinds her by pouring acid into the boy's eyes, and finally kills the boy with a stick on his mouth and forehead. The unknown person was never found, and the intention of this terrible murder was never determined. Number 2. Did you know that the Hoia Baciu forest is known as the most haunted forest in the world? Hundreds of people get lost in this forest, see ships, see strange lights, hear women's laughter and screams. In the middle of this forest is a place where no plants grow. Others believe that this point is a gateway to another world. Number 3. How many years have you learned that there is a very hard and painful training called Road to Heaven in the Taiwan Army? That the soldiers have to walk a 50-meter long path paved with coral stones. Small orange diamond. Number 4. A 2-ton whale was dissected by scientists after it beached itself 3 times to commit suicide, and they realized that this whale wanted to kill itself because of the pain. The stomach contents of this whale were full of plastics. They were left in the sea. Number 5. The strangest forest in the world. How many years have you realized that there is a 102-year-old ship on the west side of Sydney in Australia, which has now turned into a floating forest and is one of the tourist attractions in Sydney that has attracted the attention of photographers? Number 6. Did you know that the pyramids of Egypt are not located in the middle of the desert as many people think, but they are only 200 meters away from Cairo, the capital of Egypt? Number 7. Red triangle pointed up. You have done the greatest service to a patient who suffered a cardiac arrest by giving him a heart massage. With this, the blood flow to the brain and heart as well as the patient's breathing will be maintained until he reaches the hospital. Number 8. Hundreds of people in India go to the Kumar temple every day to ask for help from the fiery chameleons. This chameleon is white at the beginning of prayer, then it turns yellow, and then light gray and changes color in the same way. Number 9. In 1971, Theo Albrecht, a great German entrepreneur, was kidnapped by creating a program under his command, then demanded a ransom of $4 million from his work system and was released after receiving the amount. He paid his tax debt with that amount. Number 10. Tigers, leopards and wild cats love Calvin Klein Obsession men's cologne so much that they use this scent to attract them in the desert and film. Number 11. Pollock twins. In 1957, sisters Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock died in a tragic accident in Northumberland, England. The following year, the mother of these 2 sisters had twin children named Jennifer and Gillian. Both girls were providing information that belonged to the 2 older sisters. They also demanded toys they had never seen that belonged to the 2 older sisters. Some have claimed that the soul of the older twin resides in the body of the younger twin. Number 12. The cutest poisonous animal in the world. Sloth. At first glance, the Sloths look harmless, funny, oppressed and shy, but in fact they are one of the most poisonous and dangerous mammals on the planet, and if they feel threatened, they defend themselves by releasing poison from their body. It is interesting to know that tickling is like torture for them. Plus remember not to be fooled by its cute appearance. You will find many of these Sloths smiley face. Number 13. Sheena Rambo is someone who committed any crime you can think of, and not only the people of Nigeria but also the neighboring countries are afraid of him, and the police could never arrest him. He even stole 40 cars with his team once to show his power, and drove on the highway to show that the police can't do anything. Once he was surrounded, and in a clever move he spread money in the air and ran away when people were collecting money. But in the end, when his wife and child were killed in the conflict, his life ended and he surrendered himself. But he repented in prison and now he is one of the most popular priests there. Number 14. Every 12 years, more than 100 million Hindus wash themselves in the Ganges River for 55 days, which they consider holy, to wash away their sins. All the problems of resistance of dangerous microbes to antibiotics all over the world, which has faced a crisis in the medical world, according to the research of scientists, started from India, because the Ganges River is the most polluted river in the world. Number 15. Extremely sweet foods and snacks are more addictive for the brain than cocaine creamy sweets. Even foods like pizza, sausages, and sausages also have a lot of sugar and fat. The reason for their addiction is clear because of the high amount of sugar and energy per unit volume. Number 16. UFOs of the sea. Flying saucer in deep water. Air bubbles are condensed under the influence of high water pressure, and its volume decreases. After that, the high density of air molecules spreads its pressure around and the air bubble becomes a sheet. Number 17. Two-headed shark. Whale, which causes disruptions in the genetics of sea creatures due to the pollution of seas and oceans. Number 18. Island of the Dolls is associated with the name of Don Julian Santana, a hermit who left the world and his family to spend 50 years of his life building such a horrible garden. People around Don say that his recluse started right when he started collecting old dolls from city dumpsters. Many believe that Don Julian's main motive for building such a garden was to appease the spirit of a little girl who drowned years ago in the canal near his home, and Don Julian was unable to save her. Others, however, consider this garden to be a black work of art that originated from his acute mental illness. Number 20. Pangolin, an unknown mammal that is trafficked more than any living creature in the world. They are shy creatures. Their body is covered with scales from head to tail, and when they are in danger, they collect themselves like hedgehogs. Number 21. Indians and their strange things again. Exploding head. People of a region in India became worried after their prayers were not answered by the idols for a while and brought a doctor to check the health of their god. Although there is no end to two things, one is the world and the other is human stupidity. But in India, their type of stupidity is different from the rest of the world, just like their movies. Number 22. Postmenopausal women produce less estrogen than their body needs to maintain bone strength. Horizontal and very deep wrinkles on the neck mean that you have fragile bones and low bone density. This means that the risk of breaking a bone is very high because you have osteoporosis. Starting calcium and vitamin D supplements from age 30 is a very good idea to prevent osteoporosis. Number 23. In November 1898 AD, the German physicist Röntgen noticed that objects appeared on the fluorescence umbrella when he was conducting an experiment on cathode rays with a Crookes tube. He quickly realized that he had come across a new and unknown ray and named it X. Number 24. The one you see is called Talero, one of the most knowledgeable dogs with a story that is more like a fairy tale. His owner's car breaks down in the mountains. He goes with his dog to find help. When a blizzard comes, he gets lost and is killed by the cold. But he doesn't leave him and stays by his side for 23 days. When they find the body, they see that there is no harm done to him, and his dog, who is very thin, is next to him. In fact, with his dog's brain, Thaler thought that he was asleep or unconscious, so I had to stand up to defend him against the attacking animals. And he does his job in the best way.